Hello everyone, and we're live. Today we're going to be talking about sustainability in the workplace. We have an exclusive interview with our co-founder and CEO, and we're also going to be hearing from one of our employees about how to implement sustainable practices in your workplace and sustainability in general. So a lot has been talked about in terms of global warming crisis these days. We have a COP26 just around the corner from us. Our headquarters is here in Edinburgh. COP26 was in Glasgow. So we thought, what a great way to actually contribute to the conversation and inspire other companies and hopefully individuals to take steps to really help the sustainability goals that we've set ourselves as a company, but also the government and society in general. So now I'm going to pass you over to our CEO and ask him some questions that you guys will want to have the answers to before being joined by Anisha. Hi Biswajit, how are you doing?
Hi Ralph, I'm good. Excited to be here.
I'm glad. So one of our first questions that we have is, why and how has sustainability become an important component of Coastr's strategic plan?
To begin with, I think it has always been one, because personally I'm very much involved in a lot of initiatives around climate change and helping by especially participating in charities like WWF and also several other charities or charity groups. But more importantly, as we moved into kind of the whole world of car rentals and how we transform and digitize, I think we saw the opportunity of using technology to not just transform their businesses, but at the same time, if you have ever walked into a car rental branch, you'll see loads of paper, and historically their processes have always been full of paper, which are not green, not environmentally friendly. So as a minimum, we saw that as a great opportunity to eliminate paperwork, make it more digital processes, and thereby improving the carbon footprint. There are obviously other measures we are also looking at, but fundamentally I think our goal is how can we look at car rentals and make it much more sustainable by utilizing technology and data.
So the key to sustainability then lies in technology.
Absolutely, and increasingly we are seeing that, right? And when I say technology, I think it's a combination of innovative technology and the data that kind of supports how we measure and monitor these changes. Because at the end of the day, just to bring you a small example, through the Coastr technology, you can actually understand by looking at kind of fuel usage and vehicle and fleet that are used by a vehicle rental operator, what their potential carbon footprint could look like, and in a way, by again utilizing the data and kind of benchmarking against different businesses, Coastr can help start improving kind of their reduction in fuel usage, improving their carbon footprint that way. And that's something we have baked into our platform. But that's kind of enabled by technology and the data that we gather from various IoT sensors through connected mobility, etc. And that's kind of the future. On a slightly different example, if you look at parallel industries, there's a huge kind of conversation going around, especially in how kind of retail industries and other industries are creating carbon footprint, right? So there's a whole debate going around about greenwashing, and I think again in all of those aspects, technology plays a key role because it allows us to have more transparent processes, be able to measure what's going on, and then also find solutions to kind of eliminate and reduce carbon footprint in the longer term.
Amazing. Coastr has set the goal of being carbon neutral by 2050. What's the key to achieving these targets?
So I think there are kind of main elements of that is first of all we wanted to stay ahead of the game. And we wanted to bake that into a strategy because that's kind of fundamentally important. There are lots of businesses who, or in the past, especially corporates, have always looked at sustainability as a separate strategy or a kind of separate part of the organization, which kind of would look at that. But increasingly, I think more and more organizations and corporates are looking at making that part of your kind of operations, your DNA, and how you build into your into your day-to-day strategy. And so that's kind of where we started off with. And from the very kind of beginning of 2021, for example, the leadership team kind of have reflected on building that into our objectives and key results. Starting small, for example, and again, Anisha will talk a bit more about some things we are doing internally, but also externally, how can we encourage better adoption of electric vehicles, for example, with our customers, being able to kind of help them see the data around fleet usage and fuel usage, and use that to help them understand their carbon footprint. And most importantly, as we're coming back to the kind of paperless point, because just by providing them with a digital technology, first of all, really helps eliminate these paper-based processes. Because at the end of the day, when you have 100% digital processes, there is no need for paperwork, right? So that's what Coastr does as its platform, which really helps in starting to kind of create more digital document. But going beyond that, we have obviously understood that in operational aspects, you sometimes, businesses create paperwork. So we've started to look at widening the ecosystem as a result by, joining up with technology partners who can extend that digitization into other aspects of the rental of our customers in a rental operation. Simple example would be like our integration with Sage, for example, right? So in the past, it's quite notable that a lot of our customers would extract paper-based invoices and then use those as a way to kind of reconcile with their accountancy platform. So that would always lead to kind of additional invoice printing, etc. So the Coastr platform, we have integrated with Sage, which means now every transaction done on the Coastr platform is also automatically posted on Sage, which means there's no need for actually downloading invoices and printing them to go and do that kind of reconciliation. So that's kind of an example of how we are looking at end-to-end digitization and starting to reduce the need for paper or use of paper-based processes in the rental industry. I touched a bit about obviously the EV kind of adoption. So that's another kind of a longer term plan for Coastr, where we are going to increasingly work with partners, especially partners focused on electric vehicles and helping the industry adopt, but also how we can work directly with our customers to help them move and migrate to more of electric fleet by giving them the consultative nature of advice, or even with kind of metrics and measures and data points that can help them with that process.
For sure. And on that note, which of the COP26 goals is Coastr working towards?
The first one that I would say is supporting with kind of sustainability and climate change, because that's clearly something that we need to do, and we recognize that at Coastr that it's fundamental that every business comes up with every small measures we can take to reduce our impact on the environment. And I think in car rentals and as a tech business, we can make a huge impact because just by making simple choices around where we work from, or what sort of communications or travel policies we can implement. One of the things we've been looking at, for example, is can we reduce less flight travels and use more trains and public transport as a good example, especially when we are going out to meet clients and sales. There are other small measures we can take. So absolutely, the kind of sustainability aspect, both internally and externally, is one of our key goals. The second one, which I think we want to broadly target as part of our strategic business model, is also smart cities, for example. And one of that key element of Coastr is how can you make the rental model more accessible to public, so that we can increase more car sharing, more accessibility to rental vehicles through utilizing technologies like keyless entry or contactless rental services. We use our data and artificial intelligence to understand behaviors and patterns and usage periods, for example, which will then again help us deploy the fleet and to where the demand is, and help with changing consumer behaviors. And finally, we do work quite a lot with the government and some of the mobility industry and industry partners on that. We actually got recognized by the UK government for our sustainability vision, and as a result we are trying to build more collaborative working with them, so that such outcomes are achieved faster, because I think that's what the industry really needs, which is much more partnership and collaboration to achieve the outcomes together.
That sounds great. Going a bit further into it though, can you tell us a little bit more about Coastr's major sustainable achievements in 2021?
Well, I mean, there are quite a few, but I guess just to start off with, I guess the main thing that I am quite proud of is we have adopted it unanimously in our board and our leadership team as part of our DNA and culture. So being sustainable in every measure and every little thing in the company. So that's something which we have vehemently focused on in the last year. But and as part of that, we have started to introduce a lot more initiatives. But I don't want to be the person talking about that. Why don't I let one of our co-stars, Anisha, talk about some of the sustainable measures which we are bringing internally.
For sure. Let's bring Anisha onto this live so she can note these measures. Anisha, are you with us?
Hi Rob, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Anisha?
I'm good. Hi everyone. So I'm Anisha Alex, Coastrs resident green in charge here, and I'm here to talk to you about some of the sustainable measures that Coastr takes in the workplace. So firstly, we have elected 2 green ambassadors, one in our UK team and one in the India team, who bring forward sustainable practices and measures for everyone to participate and engage in. And the other, we try to control our waste, the amount of waste we produce, but we do have separate bins for waste segregation in order to make sure that recyclable materials do get recycled. And we have environment-friendly cutleries too, so as to avoid plastic cutleries completely. And in addition to that, our green ambassadors have come up with a very interesting and creative sustainability bingo, which encourages more green practice. And as a part of that, we all have adopted to keep reusable glass bottles and these keep cups for our coffee runs in order to avoid taking these takeaway coffee cups and reduce waste. And in addition to that, we produce customer collateral kits to our customers, which includes more green materials and environment-friendly stuff. And we also provide planters. And coming to planters, my personal favorite initiative at Coastr is these desk planters that we have. Let me show you guys. Yeah. So every desk has been given a planter, and the occupant is responsible for maintaining these plants. So this is my personal favorite, and it has been going good so far. Let me keep you updated about this further. Thank you so much. That's it from me.
Thank you, Anisha.
Thank you, Rob.
And such an important point that it is not just the big things, right? Like it's the little things that we can all do, and especially in a company, like you can really implement, whether it's the keep cups, whether it's the cutlery,
Exactly.
or even just as small as you said, there's the plants in the office that really make a difference.
Yeah, exactly. And these keep cups, it's a small way, but makes a big difference.
For sure. So that's everything from us for today. Wanted to give you this quick live to talk to you about the sustainability, and we hope that you've gotten some tips and hopefully got a little inspired to try and implement these sustainability measures in your own life and at your own company. If you're going to be engaging in stuff like this, like feel free to reach out. Coasters contact information is there. We're always open to talk to anyone, not just to car rental companies, but anyone in terms of sustainability. We're open for help, and we hope that together, as a society, we can really make a big difference in the world. So thank you everyone who has joined us today, and thank you to Anisha, and thank you to Biswajit for joining us today. So thank you everyone, and we hope we'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.
See you. Bye bye. Take care, guys.